I don't know how far I can go with this. I'm going to try though.
I don't need God to tell me how to have sex.
So I'm going to be coming out of here changing some of my behavior, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to turn nasty. Nasty. Well, now you're getting personal. The relationship between husbands and wives has become pornography. The confusion about gender, it is not good. You're getting married because you're looking for love. You'll never have intimacy. Two things are killing marriages: love and sex.
I believe I have morality, but I'm not religious. But you're saying the only way to do it is through religion. I think you're setting me up for a trap.
The principles of Hasidic life are universal. You never attempt intimacy with the lights on.
Don't kill that one for me, please. Good evening, guys. Here in Brooklyn, New York, outside of a rabbi's home. So in the Hasidic Jewish religion, every couple, before they get married, speaks to a relationship coach. So right now, we're going to go in the rabbi's home, the Hasidic rabbi's home, and speak to him about relationships.
We gave already, no thank you, sir. Just kidding, come on in.
This is the RS. Just joking.
Welcome.
Thank you. Rabbi, it's an honor, a pleasure.
Come on in.
I don't totally know what I'm getting into, to be honest.
Neither do I.
Okay. And do you like to be addressed by as rabbi, or what do you like to be referred to as?
Rabbi is good.
Okay.
I'm used to it.
So the reason I'm here, the reason I think people are interested is because you're a rabbi, but your main focus is talking to Hasidic couples before they get married about sex. Is this correct?
And not only to Hasidic couples.
All Jewish couples.
Every couple.
Catholic.
Yeah, it's a universal thing.
Okay.
I think most people are into it. I actually wrote a book on the subject called The Joy of Intimacy. And the theme of it is that intimacy is sorely lacking in our relationships. It's like nothing is intimate anymore. Since the 60s. When they took all the intimacy out of intimacy.
So the 60s movement.
Yeah, it was like free love, free of what? Free of intimacy.
Free of rules.
Free of rules, free of commitment, free of attachment. It just became empty pleasure. And now we're paying the price. In fact, I think the Me Too phenomenon is not a lack of respect for women, a lack of respect for intimacy. And that's where so much of the misunderstanding happens. Okay. What? I was just having fun. Aren't we supposed to be having fun?
Right.
Well, it's not fun.
Right.
Because you can't fool Mother Nature.
So, in your religion, I find this to be interesting, that the Hasidic religion is looked at as very conservative from the outside. It is a conservative religion, a lot of rules.
Yeah.
It's looked to be closed off, somewhat secretive, I would say. Maybe not for you, but that's how it's perceived. And you actually, every couple has a coach, a sex coach before they get married. Because they're all virgins before they get married, you know, in theory, right? That's the whole goal.
Yes.
Humans are humans, however that goes down. But right before they get married, they hire someone like you to come in? Or how does it work?
They don't have to hire.
Okay.
It's like part of the teaching, part of the education. It's marriage counseling, premarital, not sex counseling.
Oh, okay.
And that's one of the important points. Sex is not treated as some exotic subject.
Okay.
It's life.
Right.
It's marriage.
It's why we're here.
It's how we're here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just didn't happen. Okay, so
you don't have the talk. You know how American couples,
right?
They're going to sit their kid down and have the talk. Terrible.
Bad idea?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're treating it like something out of the ordinary.
Taboo
Or dangerous or scary or Just talk. Don't make it the talk.
So, I don't know how far I can go with this. I'm going to try though. Let's just pretend I'm, a Hasidic Jewish man coming in, about to get married. What are we going to do here? What's our talk? And it's not the talk. I understand,
okay.
But what's our talk?
So there are two themes. One is intimacy versus sex.
Okay.
And the other is male and female. These are two areas in which we are so dismally ignorant.
How so?
Wait, anybody talk about sex?
To me?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Nothing.
You're
I grew up Protestant.
It's a taboo subject.
Zero. I had to figure it out.
Right. It's assumed you'll figure it out. The birds and the bees figured it out, you'll figure it out too.
Right.
Like somebody said to me, I don't need God to tell me how to have sex. Yeah, that's true. But if you want intimacy, you need a little coaching. Intimacy takes a little thought. Sex, yeah, you'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out eventually, but it would be helpful to have some say tips in the beginning. Know what you're doing.
Yeah, because if not, you end up with some scars. Right?
Scars.
Yeah.
Emotional scars?
Yes. You get hurt, you get embarrassed, you get intimidated, discouraged, or a little too proud of yourself.
Right.
Depending on which way it goes.
Good point. So you're more involved with teaching intimacy.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's what's missing. Really.
So I learned a couple weeks ago from a rabbi that in your religion, you don't touch the woman for 2 weeks out of each month.
Right.
Explain that a little bit.
During the time that a woman is having her period, she is not as receptive, and therefore no go.
No go.
No intimacy, and you don't start anything.
No kiss on the cheek, good morning.
No.
Okay. No shoulder back massages, nothing.
No.
Off the limits.
Too intimate.
Okay.
And that's another thing. What exactly is intimate? A kiss is not intimate. A hug is not intimate. A massage is not intimate.
A kiss can be intimate.
It better be.
Yeah.
Not only it can be.
It better be.
Yes. Because we've reduced so much of the intimate. We've turned it all into recreational
pleasure.
Yes. And then we complain. There's nothing intimate. Well, you did it.
Okay.
You did it intentionally. So here, that's one of the rules. There is no such thing as a partial intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to kiss, make it a kiss, not a peck on the cheek, which is like neither here nor there.
So I'm going to be coming out of here changing some of my behavior, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the free session.
It's very practical.
So I will give my wife a peck on the cheek sometimes, and then intimate kisses the other times. So you're saying go intimate or don't do anything.
Yes. You'd be surprised at how intense it becomes.
How old
Which is what it should be.
How old are you?
74.
And you're still practicing this?
Well, now you're getting personal.
What? Your
Yes.
kiss? You still kiss your wife?
Yes.
Okay.
When I'm in the mood.
When you're in the mood.
Not as a routine.
Okay.
Right? Same thing with saying I love you. It's lost all its meaning.
Everything in repetition all the time loses its meaning, right?
Hi, I love you. Bye, I love you. Okay, I love you. Let's get divorced. Okay, I love you.
Okay. So where do you think society is falling short right now? Since you're here to help people, what's the biggest problems that you see?
So get right to the issue.
Yeah, please.
To the jugular.
Do it.
The relationship between husbands and wives has become pornography.
Mine hasn't.
It's become, pornography means objectified.
Okay.
It's a performance. You're supposed to achieve a certain degree of satisfaction or pleasure. Some people are really good at it. Some people are not good at it. And they need coaching and counseling and pills and toys. And it's pornography. Here's the difference between intimacy and just sex.
Okay.
Intimacy is about us. Sex is about it.
Mm-hmm.
So after a couple have been intimate, and the husband, for example, says, "How was it?" See, that's pornography. How was it? There was just us.
Because it became objectified somehow?
It became an objective,
Okay.
a performance, and something other than us. It's almost like a triangle. There were three of us in the bedroom. There was me, you, and it.
What's a better way to phrase it?
Intimacy means two people merging with each other. There's no it.
Becoming one?
There you go.
What if by coming together, they both accelerate, but they're still separate, or you think they come together as one unit? How's that possible?
They become one, where they become literally inseparable. They can't imagine being without each other.
Yeah.
But then again, they're two people in everyday life.
Don't you think there are basic tenets like respect and trust?
Oh yeah.
That has to be very solid. And until you have that, you can't build anything.
Yes. The attitude that once we are in love and we get married, then we can do whatever we want. Our relationship is indestructible. So I can be at my worst, my sloppiest, my ugliest, and it's all going to be fine. Well, no, it's not. In fact, with your spouse, you've got to be better than you are with a stranger. So with a stranger, you're careful what you say, and you're considerate, and with your spouse, you say whatever comes to mind, and what are you doing? So yes, respect is a lost art.
Even in your community, that's
to some degree.
Look, I see a lot of your communities held on pre-60s to a lot of the values, let's say, right?
In some cases, it's just reaching us now.
60s
are
coming
the 60s
in.
are happening. It's it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
But you hear couples the way they talk to each other, and it's shocking.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
Because the guy is a nice guy. Why is he treating his wife like a dog?
Yeah.
How does this happen?
Yeah.
One of the causes, too familiar. Familiarity breeds contempt.
So how do you look if you're with someone all the time, every day? How does it not become familiar?
That's the art. Naturally, if you're careless and let it go, you'll become too familiar, and it's gonna turn nasty. Nasty.
So what are some strategies to keep it from that?
Okay.
What do you teach your?
I grew up here in this house.
Okay.
My parents lived upstairs. With a little exaggeration, but not much, right? We never heard our mother's name, first name, because we don't call our parents by their first name. And my father hardly ever called my mother, because when he needed to talk to her, he would go to where she was. There was no screaming across the house. Like, where are you? Come here. We don't talk to each other like that.
Okay.
So when I hear this, it shocks me. That's how you talk to your wife? It's so disrespectful. It's so vulgar. With a relationship that has to last for the rest of your life, take good care of it. Be careful.
So don't do that, obviously. Right. Like that's a no-go.
So there's a tone
Okay.
that is appropriate, and there's a tone that is completely inappropriate.
So it's work.
It's respect. If that's work, you're in trouble.
No, what I'm saying, if you're yelling for your wife
Yeah.
across the other side of the house, it takes a little bit more work to go walk. It's not really work, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's lazy to yell across.
Yes.
It takes a little work to go and make things better.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think a lot of it has to do with people just become lazy and complacent in their lives?
They lose respect.
Okay.
Because the familiarity will do that if you don't protect it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to the objectification.
Sure.
A guy says to me, I love everything about my wife. I said, interesting. Your wife wants a divorce. So what gives?
Right.
Does he love everything about his wife?
No.
Probably not. But even if he did, there's something wrong in his entire approach. He loves everything about her. He doesn't need her. So again, it's things. He loves this about her, he loves that about her. So it's this and that. It's not her.
He likes things that make him happy or feed his ego, right?
What he's getting from her.
Right.
And it could be very noble things. You know, she brings out the best in me. She makes me a better person. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But is that her? So I asked this guy. I said, you love everything about your wife? Yeah. Do you love her? He said, I told you I love everything about her. I said, no, not about her. Her. He says, I don't know what that means. And here's the kicker. If that's how they're living,
Mm-hmm.
and they're happily married, he loves everything about her, she loves everything about him.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, they each feel alone in the world. And that's the dangerous part. That feeling of aloneness, it's literally dangerous.
You think it's a big problem?
It's a huge problem.
What about the Hasidic community? I know statistics, I don't know the exact number, but roughly 50% of Americans get divorced, right? Married couples get divorced? Something like that. What about in the Hasidic community?
Much lower.
20?
I don't know.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there is a statistic which shouldn't even exist. It should be so rare because marriage is a fantastic institution.
Mm-hmm.
We can't live without it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be a society without it. And we can't get rid of that aloneness without it. It's the only cure.
You guys have that figured out quite well, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
The aloneness problem. I don't see much aloneness going on in these streets.
Right. But it's a very deep and profound need.
Mm-hmm.
You can have tons of friends and you're all alone in the world, which is what's happening to Americans. We're very outgoing, we're very friendly, we're cosmopolitan, mm-hmm. We've been everywhere, mm-hmm. even the Ukraine. Mm-hmm. But you come home and it's just me. In England, they actually started a department in the Ministry of Health. Mm-hmm. They opened a special department to deal with the crisis of loneliness. Mm-hmm. Because when you feel alone in the world, your immune system crashes.
That's a good thing.
All right, maybe
like millions of hits.
Maybe I'll ask off camera then.
Yeah.
This sensitive topic. But tell me if you don't want me to post it. That's fine. Look, in Hasidim, you know, all this, cameras, internet, whatever, is a distraction from the void, from God, right?
Not if you use it properly. It's a wonderful tool.
The internet's a wonderful tool. YouTube, Instagram?
Oh, yeah.
Are you on Instagram?
I think so. On YouTube, everywhere, I think. Maybe not TikTok.
Yeah, me neither. That looks annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's walk through a case study, because I'm sort of getting what you're doing. I'm understanding your thought process of this. But if a couple, how does it work? They schedule an appointment with you. They come in together, sit down at a table, mm-hmm. and then how does it go?
Usually it's separate.
Okay.
Talk to one at a time rather than together.
And you
because
basically,
what the guy needs to hear is a little different than what she needs to hear.
How so?
Male, female.
Okay. So men are what, more aggressive and female are more emotional, or what?
No.
Okay, what would the difference be that you would explain?
Okay, so on the subject of male and female,
Mm-hmm.
A woman getting married is looking for someone she can lean on. Her rock, right? Somebody that she can support and follow and nurture.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nurturing nature. The man, on the other hand, has to feel that he has something to offer, he has something to bring to the table, and that he is the provider, the giver.
Mm-hmm.
She is the receiver and the nurturer.
Mm.
You cannot really be content in life unless you feel like you filled that role. So a man's greatest contentment and pleasure comes from knowing that he provided, not received.
So you're saying if the woman provides and the man receives, it's not going to go over well?
It will not go over well.
Mm. It's a biological thing? Or cultural?
No, it's natural.
It's natural, okay.
It is male psyche, female psyche.
Okay.
It could be biological.
So they come in, you teach them a few different things, but perhaps give us a summed up version of what you would say. What you would tell the guy? What would you tell the man?
So the main point is,
Yeah,
you're marrying her,
mm-hmm.
not something about her. And the reason you're getting married is biblical. There's no other reason. It's not like it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Convenient. No, it's not. It's a biblical idea. It's part of the religion.
Mm-hmm.
God says, be married and become one. So the objective is to become one, to unite. In order to unite, you got to get all of those things out of the way.
Mm.
Because anything comes between you. It stops being about each other, becomes about the thing.
Okay.
So here's the real shocker. You're getting married because you're looking for love. You'll never have intimacy. Because you're looking for love, not for her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why if she doesn't love you, it's over.
Yeah.
There's no relationship other than the love. So technically, you are married to the love, not to her.
Hmm. So then it could mean there could be many matches for someone. Many possibilities. There's not one specific person on this planet for each person.
There
If
really
it's going
is.
for the love.
Right. Right.
That transpires through everything, right?
If you're looking for love, you can love just anybody, almost.
Mm.
But then you're marrying the love. It is no better, really not, it is no better than marrying for money. In fact, money is more practical.
Do you suggest a prenup?
No. If you need a prenup, you're not thinking right.
Yeah. I think that sets a bad energy in the
Very
relationship, right?
Very bad.
I just got married this last year. Yeah, for the first time.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's great. She's wonderful.
So this is the thing.
Yeah.
Love is not a basis for marriage. And this is the biggest mistake we're making because Hollywood, love is everything.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is love, and love will keep us together. And
Right.
it's not true. And love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage? No, they don't. First of all, if you're going to get married, do it because you believe in marriage, not because you're in love with somebody.
But isn't that the best feeling? And isn't that the reason of life is to feel love?
No,
No?
No.
You don't want to feel love?
sure I do. I want to have chocolate too. But chocolate is not the reason for life. No?
That's dopamine. Love is something different. Dopamine is that instant hit. A deeper love is what I think that's our existence. That's the pinnacle of existence, right?
But can't love be really selfish and destructive?
Sure.
So it can't be life. It's the spice of life. It's the icing on the cake, but it's not the cake.
What's the cake?
The cake is, I need you, not your love.
Everything about you.
Just you.
The good, the bad, everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, our ancestors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our grandparents, great-grandparents, they married to have each other. Were they happily married? Maybe not.
But don't you want
But to be without each other was unthinkable.
But don't you want to marry someone who you're happy to be around?
Of course.
Who you enjoy being around?
Of course.
It makes sense.
Yes.
But you're saying do it even if you don't get those things.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is this. You want to have each other.
Mm-hmm.
When you do have each other, what's not to love?
Mm-hmm.
So the love is the icing on the cake.
Okay.
But first have some cake.
Okay. Okay.
Two things are killing marriages. Love and sex. They're destroying marriage. Because most people think that marriage is love and sex. But love and sex are things. Everything. So let me put it this way. If you asked your grandmother, right, she was a religious woman?
Not so much, no.
More than people today?
No, probably.
Well, if you asked her, what happens in the bedroom? Most likely she would say, nothing. Nothing. I know my grandmother would, no, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She said, come on, tell me, I'm 48. No, nothing. Nothing is the best answer. A bedroom, properly maintained, a bedroom is a no-thing zone. Don't bring things into the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's just us.
Yeah.
So here's some practical advice. Get married because you believe in marriage. Of course, choose somebody you like.
Okay.
But marry for the sake of marriage, not for the sake of money, and not for the sake of love. Marry so that you're not alone. It's not just you. There's a certain humility there. There's a certain vulnerability there.
Mm-hmm.
Love without vulnerability is abusive.
Mm.
So the vulnerability has to be there first. And vulnerability means, what, I'm just going to be me? What's the point of that?
Mm-hmm.
So you want another in your life, because then your life has some meaning. Of course, you want to love that person, and you should love that person.
But in your religion, they really, from what I understand, really cement the principle of to be happy and well with yourself before you can offer anything to anyone else.
But that means humility. How do you get well with yourself?
Mentally? I think, look, we're engineered to have more negative thoughts than positive ones. I think to try to outweigh those. I think
About yourself.
in general, any thoughts throughout the day. How many millions of thoughts go through our heads? What percentage are negative? So to be well and healthy, I think more positive. To be doing what you want to do with your life, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And to be physically healthy. The basics, Maslow's pyramid. But yeah,
it's a little off the subject, but it's very closely related. The only way to be okay with yourself is to get bored with yourself.
Yeah, silence, right?
Get bored. Enough already. Me. Okay, yeah.
But we're inherently selfish creatures.
No. I
Yes.
don't believe it.
You don't think so?
That's a nasty slander of the human race.
Okay, let's take some examples. Look, whatever action you take, it sounds okay. So you're not you don't believe in libertarian values at all, so much. Libertarian is about the self. It's about the self.
I know. It's
Right?
poison.
It's poison. But if you can't take care of your own oxygen mask first in the plane you're going down, you can't give to anyone else. You have to take care of yourself first.
So your argument just proved my point. The reason to put your mask on first
is to help.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not selfish.
Well, you're guaranteeing your survival over the person next to you. Their rate is limited because you're taking the oxygen first. No, I can't get out of that.
No.
Darn. So Shloime, when I made my intro here, I said sex coach.
Yeah, I told you he's a lot wiser than just sex.
That should I change that, you think?
Maybe you'll do another intro later, but
I'll do another intro.
Yeah.
Marriage coach.
But
So what were we saying? A healthy person is not someone who has a high self-image.
Of course.
And it's certainly not someone with a low self-image.
Of course.
So
but let's say arrogance is the high.
Right.
But confidence, they should have confidence.
Yeah.
Without confidence, you can't accomplish anything.
Yeah. But confidence doesn't mean self-importance.
Mm-hmm.
It means capable. So the healthiest attitude towards self is boredom. Like somebody said, how do I know I'm ready to get married? You got a very simple test. When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, if you're fascinated by what you see, don't get married.
You have to be self-critical at all times.
Not critical. Bored. I'm
never bored.
That's a good self-image. Because you're busy.
No, I can stay still. I've done 10-day meditations where there's nothing. I wasn't bored in that. It was hard, but I wasn't bored.
What were you doing? What were you trying to accomplish?
Well, for the first 3 days, our monkey minds are going thought to thought always, color to color, smell to smell. I want to remove all of that. And only by distilling my mind to that point where all of that's gone, can you reach this stillness and this so-called boredom. But even in that, I wasn't bored. You can pay attention to your breath for hours and get something out of it.
Not self-importance. If that's what you get out of it, you're going in the wrong direction.
What do you mean?
If focusing on your breath makes you more important to yourself?
No, focusing on your breath to remove, look, like I said, even the Dalai Lama, has bad days and I'm sure gets stressed out over things. So by removing all external distractions, and focusing on something like breath is very simple.
But what are you left with?
What are you left with? You're left. I saw I had like a psychedelic experience in that. Something interesting happened. It's a long story.
Mm.
But what are you left with when you have stillness? I think you appreciate things a lot more.
Things?
Things could be elements, could be the sky, the sun, the color, the taste, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a materialistic thing. Well, what is the self?
The self is poison. It's like, you must love yourself before you can love someone else. True?
I think you're setting me up for a trap, but yes, I would say true.
The only problem is, no one needs to be told that. No one needs to be told to love themselves because they already love themselves way too much.
A lot of people don't, though. They might say they do, but they really don't. They do destructive things against themselves.
And they say they hate themselves. But they don't. They're obsessed with themselves. A simple example. This woman says, I hate myself. I want to die. I want to... Mm-hmm. So last night, did you roll out of bed while you were sleeping by accident? She says, no. I said, how come? Even when you're unconscious, you're taking care of yourself. So love is a tricky word. Do they love themselves? Do they enjoy? No. But they hate themselves because they're so important. We don't need to be told to love ourselves. Mm-hmm. We need to be told to share some of the love we have for ourselves.
Right.
Right? That's the whole code of morality. You love yourself. Can you give it a little away?
Yeah.
You protect yourself. Can you protect someone else once in a while? So all your natural instincts are not meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
That is a huge lesson in life.
So you feel like you're a conduit? You're just taking this message from God and you're pushing it out basically to the world?
That's what kindness means. That's what generosity means. That's what charity means. That's everything.
Yeah. So until someone does that, they're not going to live a fulfilled life? I don't know the right word to use because I know I might give myself a
you're right. You're right. There's not that kind of contentment. Because as soon as you become self-conscious, you're uncomfortable. Even if you have a high self-image. But the fact that you're constantly aware, it's unnatural. So we're not built to be selfish. We're not.
So you think Hasidim brings out that principle?
Absolutely. Big
Because
topic.
there's a very strict code of how to live by?
It's not strict. It's
Or
liberating.
outlined. Yeah. Okay.
But it's meant to liberate you from anxiety, self-awareness, love yourself, hate yourself. Get past all that. There's much more to life.
There is a lot less anxiety in culture in this neighborhood than San Francisco where I live.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
It can be felt at an energetic level.
Yes.
Communication's nonverbal mostly. You can feel it on the streets.
So, first thing is get married because marriage is a wonderful thing. Now find somebody who shares that opinion.
Okay.
So, on your first date, don't think, does he love me or does she love me? Do you love marriage? Otherwise, we got nothing to talk about.
The institution
Yes.
is like the Constitution.
Yeah.
I didn't try to rhyme that, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like it's in stone.
Yes. Yeah.
No
And if you don't-
no amendments.
Yeah, and if you don't believe in that, then don't get married. Just because you fell in love with somebody, you don't have to.
That's why I didn't get married till 42.
Yeah.
So people can't become Hasidic who are not Jews. They just can't go.
No,
on
you
the-
can't.
They can convert.
They don't have to convert. The principles of Hasidic life are universal.
I've heard different answers to that question actually. So I think in the Hasidic community, there's a different.
Maybe.
It's not set in stone, right?
Right. There are different Hasidic philosophies, but
Okay. So what are people supposed to do if they're not, say, Hasidic Jew and they're not going to become Hasidic Jew? What do they? How do they navigate all these waters?
replace the respect for marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Be more respectful to each other. And look for intimacy, not a performance.
That's simple.
You have to be Jewish.
You don't have to be Jewish.
No.
Okay, good. Because most of the world isn't. So,
Right?
you know,
So if you want to get practical,
yeah.
if you want, you should be trying to achieve intimacy. It's not easy because anything can come between you and that kills the intimacy.
Like a kid.
Like a kid or the television.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are being intimate with the television on? World Series?
Yeah.
What are you paying attention to?
Right.
So anything, any sound, so here's how you get a little closer to intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you never attempt intimacy with the lights on. Only in the dark,
Why?
so that you don't see anything. Not even each other.
So you just feel it instead of you take out a sense.
I can only see things.
Ah.
So if I look at you, I don't see you, I see something about you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're growing a pimple on your nose. You know, like,
Thank you.
and there goes the intimacy. Right?
It's
know,
funny.
You really should do something. Your eyebrows or
They're
anything you see, even if you like what you see, you're distracted from him or her. So, no lights.
Okay.
Look, I remember, I'm not that old, I remember the old TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
like I Love Lucy, All in the Family.
Uh-huh.
You knew that they were going to be intimate because they turned off the lamp. And that was not just because they couldn't show. That was the normal behavior in most homes.
Mm-hmm.
You turn off the lamp and then you're intimate. Who introduced this notion of having intimacy when the lights are on?
I don't know. Hollywood?
Pornography.
Okay.
Because you can't
Hollywood.
take pictures in the dark.
So it's a new
Yes.
phenomenon? Really?
Yeah.
The last century?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, dark. Don't see anything.
Not a nice little candlelight or
No. And no music. There's a famous joke about the record was playing and it skipped. Okay, I can mess up. So no sound, no sight, and no talk. So if you see nothing, hear nothing, and say nothing, where's your mind gonna go?
to the feeling?
To who you're with.
So everything else is a distraction of some sort.
Yes. And when you think about it, it's pretty powerful.
Right. I will try this, Rabbi. I thought a candle was a good thing to... No.
A candle is a good thing to get into the mood.
Okay.
But you got to get past the mood.
You gotta blow out the candle to move to the next level. Okay.
And as long as we're talking,
Yeah.
what is with this one bed?
Don't kill that one for me, please. I love. Don't
Just
you
talking-
like spooning?
Just talking theoretical, okay? Think of the romance of the king knocking on the door of the queen's bedroom. That's a little better than, are you in the mood? No, let me sleep. Oh, that's a killer.
Well, I think separation helps too. So, like, you have your 2 weeks. I'm here for a week making videos.
Yeah.
I go back home. It's fresh. In theory.
In
Things
theory,
are,
yes.
in theory.
Yeah. But really, to put it very simply, if you're going to be intimate, can you show a little initiative? Like, get up from your bed and like, don't just roll over.
Yeah, but what about sleeping next to your partner every night?
Too much.
Your wife. Really?
Too much familiarity. It grows ordinary.
You have separate rooms here with your wife?
No.
Separate beds.
But I'm just thinking, royalty used to have separate rooms. I think, wow, that's awesome. Knock on
Awesome?
the door.
Isn't there something intimate and nice about sleeping with your partner in bed under
Not-
the same covers?
Not every night. It kills it.
Kills.
Too much of a good thing. I was traveling with my wife on the airline about 2 years ago. We get to the counter, to the gate, and I noticed they gave us both the same seat. Same seat.
Yeah.
So I walked over to the agent and I said, this is too much of a good thing. We don't want to share a seat. Give us
Right.
separate seats. So, it becomes...
So routine is the killer, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Familiarity.
What's going on in the Hasidic community at the moment with marriages? Do you think the institution is getting stronger or it's weakening like the rest of society? Or hard to say?
There isn't enough education. There isn't enough talk.
Like what you're doing?
Yeah.
So in your community, how many people do you see, say, within a year and have this conversation with?
It's not just the people I see. I'm publishing books.
Sure.
I'm doing talks about
Sure.
it. And it's not the most traditional thing to talk about it in public.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a crisis. You got to do it.
You're saving people's families, their livelihood,
Sometimes their lives.
their lives. Okay.
You get miserable, you get dangerous.
Yeah. Okay.
So the way we are raised, and it's not just for marriage or just for intimacy, the way we are raised is with the opinion that human beings are much more noble than we're given credit. For example, I would enjoy, and the average person, I enjoy making lunch for you a lot more than I make lunch for myself. For myself, it's drudgery. Got to eat something, so whatever, leftovers. But if I'm making lunch for you, there's much more pleasure in that.
So this contradicts, I'm going to go out on a limb here, this contradicts somewhat the American system, which is built around the individual.
Yes, looking out for number one. Remember that book?
But why, if America was founded off these principles?
It wasn't. It's
Many
a recent development.
Why did people leave Europe? Because they didn't want people telling them what to do.
Because they wanted to practice their religion,
Sure.
not indulge themselves.
And they wanted to realize who they could be in their lives. Whether that be a rabbi, whether that be whomever. Realize their full potential with less resistance.
Their full potential meant being of service to God, to the community.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't mean be the best you can be.
Well, you can't unless you're serving people. Then you're really pretty much insignificant.
That's true.
But to get to that, you have to be somewhat selfish. Tonight, I got to work on videos, and nothing else matters in my life.
What you're doing is the ultimate selflessness.
Huh.
You're getting so much pleasure from doing something for others. Why is that selfish? It's not selfish.
Well,
We
everyone
are
wants
taught-
to be admired. That's just a human condition, right?
Yes, we want the perks.
Right.
But the real pleasure comes from what you're doing.
Yeah.
It hurts when you don't get recognized for it, but you're not doing it to be recognized.
Yeah, and I think that's a good. I don't know. You've been doing this your whole life, right? Your whole adult life. So you've been recognized forever. At a smaller scale now that you're on the internet,
yeah,
a larger
yeah.
scale, right?
But I have an interesting phenomenon. When I'm in pain, I got a headache,
Uh-huh.
or I have a bad cold and I'm coughing, or I'm out of shape and I can't stand on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me there's somebody who wants me to talk for a group, all the pain goes away.
Mm.
Till after the speech, it comes back.
You get in that flow state,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So we are taught that study is extremely important. Why? Because then you can teach. Even studying is not for yourself. It's so that you can teach.
Do you mean by study just studying the book or studying your own life path? Like studying...
Everything.
Okay.
Knowledge, information, wisdom,
Yeah.
very important, because then you can share it.
Wisdom comes from experience, wouldn't you say? Okay.
Comes with age. So.
So one thing you were saying earlier that I think I got off topic, we were talking about the planes going down. I don't think I resolved that. I think I got confused and switched topics. But so the oxygen comes down. I'm saying it's if I'm not selfish, right? Well, unpack that. What you were saying exactly. I'm trying to say that we're inherently selfish to some degree, and you're saying not.
No.
But,
It's the same as study so that you can teach.
uh-huh.
First, you get smart. But why? Not just for yourself, so that you can teach. Get your oxygen on so that you can be useful to others. Get yourself healthy so that you can turn your attention to others. Because when you're not healthy, you're obsessed with yourself.
So would you look at a guy like Steve Jobs or Sergey Brin of Google? Would you look at these people as? Would you idolize these people? Would you say they?
That's a bad word to use.
Not idolize, yeah, bad word. Okay. Would you give respect for what they've created and what they've done?
What they've done is fantastic. What kind of people they are, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll reserve judgment on that one. I think they started off very idealistic. Are they still? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I just hear it's interesting. We both use YouTube. Thank God for that platform. Huh? changed my life.
Mm.
Probably changed yours.
And many others.
Yeah. So, okay, Rabbi, I'm going to wrap it up here. If someone wants to, or is there anything else you would specifically like to say that I didn't ask or lead us into?
I think we touched on the subject, but we haven't really developed it. Male and female psyches. The confusion about gender,
Mm-hmm.
it is not good. This is not going to promote healthy life. We have to be very in touch with our masculinity and femininity.
Mm-hmm.
And because we don't know what it is, we decided that it's what is the word? Flexible?
Fluid.
Fluid. It's not fluid.
Would you say, though, that some people are born homosexual, right? They're like,
Yeah, but that's sexual.
okay.
And there are exceptions to every rule, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And here's one of the bad habits we've gotten into.
Okay.
You find an exception, you throw out the rule.
Right.
That's not true.
Right.
The rule stays. And, the exception proves the rule and all that stuff.
So you think there's a problem in society now where the gender roles have been diluted to some degree, and it's creating problems in relationships?
Yeah. It's very unhealthy.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is we are taught a much more respectful, dignified, noble opinion of the human being.
Mm-hmm.
To tear it down is not good. People are not so selfish. People are not stupid. People are not evil. Stop it.
Yeah.
Of course there's an exception to the rule,
Yeah.
but don't make it the rule. Morality is again a subject that has been neglected. We're not taught morality. There's no such subject. Who teaches morality? Nobody. It's not good.
Your parents.
We're taught equality as if that's morality. It's not. It's a poor substitute. Because underlying that, we're all the same. We're all the same. So, don't hate each other. We're all the same. Underlying that message is a very clear belief. If you think you're better than me, you're going to kill me. If I think I'm better than you, I'm going to abuse you. Morality means the big guy can't beat up the little guy. That's what morality means. The rich may not take advantage of the poor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, as long as they're going to be rich people, they're going to take advantage. Yeah, if you don't teach them morality.
So it has to come from the parents, right?
It has to come from the Bible.
Ah.
There's no morality without a Bible.
But what if, in modern day society, despite, let's say, the changes taking place, we live by Judeo-Christian principles. I read the Bible a while ago, probably got halfway through. It's a very confusing text, full of lovely lessons, and I got to go back to it.
And they contradict each other and they make you crazy.
Right. But I believe I have morality, but I'm not religious. But you're saying the only way to do it is through religion.
We have morality because of religion.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
It's like talking to this arrogant student, and he says, I don't need God to tell me what is right and wrong.
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay. Tell me, what do you think is wrong? He says, murder. I said, did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Did you discover that on your own, or has that been around like for 3,000 years?
Right.
So we don't have to identify the source. But had there not been the Ten Commandments, I don't know what we would be thinking. Even the atheist.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not so smart to take the Ten Commandments and erase the author's name. Say, oh, I thought of that.
Right.
Yeah, now.
Right. Okay, Rabbi. Well, thank you. I want to, you're well known in the community, people know you, but are you looking for any more couples to come in or not really?
Not really, but
Okay.
the message.
The message,
To get the
okay.
message out, for sure.
Okay, so where would people find you online? On YouTube or
It's goodtoknow.org.
itsgoodtoknow.org. Okay.
It's good to know.
And more of your messages there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And they can order the book.
Order
Do you
the
have a copy of the book?
I was looking. Oh.
Joy of Intimacy. Amazon? Or your website?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Amazon's good.
Okay, fantastic. Rabbi, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
And I got something out of this, so thank you for that.
It is a very selfless activity.
I don't know. I'll think about that.
And if you get paid for it, it's even better.
Yeah,
The
true.
best of both worlds.
Right. Okay, thank you.
I often think, why am I charging for this? It's not right.
We
It's
gotta
a
live.
public service. Why am I charging for this?
We need lights.
I found a
when,
good,
when
I
intimacy
found
isn't
a good
around.
excuse. It's okay. I justified it.
All right. Thank you.